It all began under the starry night sky. A donkey named Tobias was grazing while his owner was sleeping in a nearby hut. Suddenly, a creaking sound broke the quiet of the night. Tobias, ever vigilant, raised his ears, and from some shadows emerged an individual with an evil look. Before the donkey could warn his owner, a muzzle was put on him by the dark character. Thus, the noble donkey was torn from his home in a cruel way. The man took Tobias to a place of despair and pain, a vast and arid land where even the air seemed poisoned. There, numerous skeletal donkeys were wandering around the millstones. Their eyes were empty and desperate, and this was the fate that seemed to await poor Tobias too. The masters of that hell were a group of brutal criminals who embodied cruelty and greed. They forced the donkeys to work incessantly, providing them with barely enough water and food to keep them alive, while they whipped them to make the most of them. Tobias, with an indomitable spirit, tried to escape on several occasions, but it was always impossible, and the attempts only brought the donkey brutal beatings. Each blow, each wound, seemed to take away a little more of his inner strength. Each time, in less than a week, he found himself on the brink of resignation. However, fate had a different path in store for him. One day, when the gates of the estate opened and jammed, they had left the entrance open, waiting to repair it. The donkey, who had lost so much weight in so few days, found that the chains that blocked him had loosened. In front of him was an opportunity that probably would never come again. However, the fear of further punishment made him hesitate, and he preferred to turn around to avoid that temptation. It was then that a gauze with feathers as white as snow and eyes full of wisdom told him, "What are you doing, boy? You can't miss this opportunity." The gauze, who had observed everything from the branches of a nearby tree, encouraged Tobias with such insistence that, in the end, the donkey found the courage to take advantage of the opportunity. Without too much effort, he broke free from his chains and fled the estate. The gauze flew alongside him. However, the criminals did not stand by and watch. They saddled up their horses and began to chase the poor donkey. At that moment, it seemed that the world was against Tobias, as a massive rain began to fall with force, as if those men had invoked the storm on purpose to erase Tobias's only opportunity for freedom. The flood transformed the ground into a slimy quagmire, preventing the donkey from seeing beyond his nose. This made him stumble against logs and stones. Tobias, already weakened by malnutrition and tiredness, struggled to stay on his feet. But those criminals were relentless. With tears of despair, he did nothing but cry and repeat, "I can't do it." His inclination to stop and his desperation grew with every step. However, it was not only the gauze who had flown beyond the clouds to escape the storm, but had not abandoned Tobias. His voice, almost drowned out by the sound of the rain, encouraged him. "Continue, Tobias. Don't give up, please. Keep going." His voice was a beacon of hope in the midst of the storm, and the only thing that kept the donkey from giving up completely. Finally, when the thugs seemed about to capture him, the rain stopped suddenly. Tobias could clearly see the brave little donkey and immediately realized that the settlement of the real owner was about 300 meters away. So, inspired by that light of hope, he gathered his last strength and ran toward that safe place. The men, seeing the settlement, retreated, leaving Tobias behind. Finally, Tobias's owner came running out of his hut and hugged him in tears. The gauze came down from the sky and approached Tobias. The donkey gave her a grateful look and then asked, "Why did you have so much faith in me? If it wasn't for you, I would have given up, and only God knows what would have become of me." The gauze replied with a calm voice, "The reason is that when you are in the midst of the storm, you don't sit. Never forget this, Tobias. From the sky above the dark clouds where I was flying, I could see that you were running toward the end of the storm and toward a refuge. That's why I asked you not to stop, because I could see what you couldn't see. I knew that soon you would be safe, even if you couldn't see it in the middle of the storm." The gauze explained further, and Tobias realized that even in the darkest moments, hope can be found if you keep moving forward. He learned that misfortunes can only catch you if you stop looking ahead, and that regardless of how difficult the storm is, sooner or later it will end. You just have to follow that light that invites you not to give in to the darkness. If you are currently in the middle of a storm, please listen to us and don't give up. Keep moving forward. You can make it. A better life awaits you. Free yourself from the chains of fear, criticism, and worries about what others think or what you will become. The only chain that can really stop you is your mind. Consider this story that allows you to soar a little above the storm clouds so that you know that freedom is waiting for you. You have all our support, and if you like this story, know that many others are coming that will fascinate you. So start now. Do not delay and join us who are already walking this path for the nourishment of mind, soul, and heart. Do not delay and never give up. Let us know in the comments what you think of this story and if you have ever felt like Tobias. If you liked the video, do not forget to subscribe.